This is in Shenzhen, Guangdong, China. The area under the overpass has been sealed. Why? Just too many people sleeping here. Those who can still sleep under overpasses and on the streets are lucky. Most of them are delivery drivers, unemployed people from large companies, and many factory workers. Basically people from the bottom of society. In this video, let's examine a new trend. The true state of China's economy is causing panic among the elite in China. On June 20th, China's National Bureau of Statistics released unemployment data for June by age group. The average urban surveyed unemployment rate for the first half of the year was 5.2%. In June, the national urban surveyed unemployment rate was 5%. This data is completely disproportionate to the widespread lamentations of the unemployed on Chinese social media. Let's look at Guangdong province. Our whole family can't find anyone with a job. Abroad, they have the Avengers Alliance. Here, we have the Unemployed Alliance. Let me introduce the members of our alliance. I, a 35-year-old programmer, I was laid off at the end of November last year and can't find work now. My educational background is a barrier. My wife, a product manager, she worked for 3 months last year but wasn't offered a permanent position, so she quit in anger. My father-in-law is 60 years old. He used to work as a construction worker, but now he's too old and nobody wants him. My brother-in-law used to drive a cement mixer truck. Now he's also unemployed. The blogger says that last year the whole family was all busy working people. This year we've all become flexibly unemployed. Goodbye, Guangdong. Today is my 35th day of being unemployed and lying flat in Dongguan. I really want to say goodbye to Guangdong and go back to my hometown where I was born and raised to live a life that's half bustling and half peaceful. But I'm still young with outstanding debts. Excluding my mortgage, I haven't even saved $3,000 or 20,000 yuan this year. There are only 4 months left until the Chinese New Year, so going back now seems inappropriate. A life half filled with the hustle, half with quiet joy is now spent alone in Dongguan. Those who can go home early for the Chinese New Year are probably debt-free and carefree. These past 2 days, I've seen job postings in recruitment groups snapped up within minutes. It seems that there are quite a few unemployed people in Guangdong this year. Even with many employed, finding work isn't so easy. Then let's look at Shanghai. I lost a job that paid $2,200 or 15,000 yuan a month, and I've been unemployed for 2 months now. How am I doing? The economic climate this year is unbelievably bad. I talked to a former colleague on the phone today. He's been unemployed for a year, recently received a job offer, and is preparing to come to Shanghai. He said that staying at home for too long has made his parents a bit unfriendly. Although he's not entirely satisfied with the offer, at least he has his own income, and his life will be relatively freer. After talking to him, I feel even more anxious. Sisters, something terrible has happened. My husband's stall has to close too. It feels like he was just getting back on track after losing his job, and now this has hit us again. It's true what they say, ideals are often far from reality. He's trying to figure out the way. He paid 3 months rent at the end of May, and now we have to stop after the end of June. I'm going to get my nails done after work today to completely change things up. The same goes for Beijing. 32 years old, master's degree, 7 years in the internet industry, suddenly laid off. I bought a condo in Beijing for $740,000, over 5 million RMB. Do I regret it? I have worked in the internet industry for 7 years. My husband and I bought a 2-bedroom condo in Beijing for around $740,000, with a down payment of $350,000 and a loan of $430,000. I thought this was the final destination of our years of working in Beijing, a stable start, but in early April I was laid off without warning. No prior notice, I was told to leave in the afternoon, and that evening I lost all of my work privileges. 7 years of professional experience and stable income came to an abrupt end. The blogger says she and her husband bought the home in 2022, but unexpectedly property prices continued to fall in just a few years. Now, after selling the home, we've lost $90,000 in total. Today, I want to tell you something. I was laid off. Actually, I wasn't too surprised to be laid off. With the impact of AI, positions are being downsized, and business is decreasing. Layoffs have been happening gradually since after the Lunar New Year. Every time there's an organizational restructuring, some people leave the team. This time, it's my turn. Just the day before yesterday, HR messaged me saying they wanted to come to the meeting room to talk. My heart skipped a beat. It finally came. I already guessed it was about this. Then I couldn't control my emotions and tears streamed down my face. The outside world has always questioned the accuracy of official data from the CCP. Even Li Daquei doesn't believe it. He believes China's actual unemployment rate is as high as 10.2%, double the official unemployment rate of 5% currently claimed by the CCP. Converted to a 10% rate, this means approximately 48 million people are unemployed, more than the entire population of Spain or Argentina. Furthermore, this figure doesn't even reflect the true level of unemployment in China, as the rural unemployed are never actually included in the statistics. China's total urban labor force is approximately 475 million, but 40% of them, about 190 million workers, are migrant workers excluded from unemployment benefits. Who is Li Daquei? He is the director of the Center for China and World Economy Studies at Tsinghua University's School of Economics and Management. The 62-year-old Li, a former advisor to the People's Bank of China, is China's most well-known government-appointed economist, known as the economic master of the nation, and has visited Shanghai the most times since 2012. On July 11th at a seminar at the China Macroeconomic Forum (CMF), Li Daquei refuted the claim that current growth industries such as advanced manufacturing and artificial intelligence can drive the entire Chinese economy, a claim heavily promoted by the CCP. In a speech, Li Daquei explained how his team recalculated these unemployment figures. Based on the National Bureau of Statistics baseline data, we reinstated those who had been excluded from the labor force statistics in the past 2 years due to unemployment. We call them frustrated labor force. They haven't laid flat, they still want to find work. Including them as unemployed and recalculating them in the numerator and denominator, the calculated broad unemployment rate is currently 10.2%. The number of long-term frustrated unemployed is approximately 24 million, which is very detrimental to social stability. To us, Li Daquei's data is overly conservative, because data from various government departments in China is falsified. The actual situation is likely more serious than Professor Li's findings. The CCP has consistently concealed the true scale of the economic crisis from the public. This is one of its methods for maintaining its rule. The Chinese people have also noticed this, but they have still tried to understand the CCP in a benevolent way. Today, I was talking to a friend about unemployment. He said his family contributed 3 spots to the unemployment rate, and 2 of his friends are also unemployed. My former college roommate hasn't received a salary for 7 months. I said I've been unemployed and looking for work all year. Many people say they're unemployed after graduation, but I think many who graduated several years ago are also unemployed. Conversely, recent graduates might find it easier to find jobs. Suspending the release of unemployment data might be an attempt to reassure people. Another well-known economist, Gao Shanwen, made headlines in 2024 for questioning the credibility of China's official GDP statistics. He was subsequently punished, silenced, and forced to resign as chief economist of SDIC Securities. Party leader Xi Jinping personally ordered an investigation into Gao Shanwen because Gao had stated that China's actual growth rate might be closer to 2%, rather than the officially reported 5%. Gao Shanwen recently passed away at the age of 55. This explains the actions taken by relevant departments of the Shenzhen government. Perhaps the local government fears that the scenes of people sleeping on the streets will reveal the secrets of the party state. The current situation of migrant workers in Guangdong is not optimistic, mainly manifested in a large number of unemployed people, reduced job opportunities, and declining wages. In the past 10 years, the number of construction workers has decreased by 15 million. Overpasses, public washrooms, and streets in Guangdong are filled with various unemployed people sleeping. And next month, more than 10 million college graduates younger and more hardworking than us will join our ranks of migrant workers. On one hand, the vacancy rate of office buildings is as high as 51%, and on the other hand, more than 10 million young people are about to enter the workforce. The security guards in residential areas are getting younger and younger, the number of registered ride-hailing drivers is already saturated, and the delivery guys are all 18 or 19 years old. Recently, many students have bought train tickets to Guangdong, trying to find work during the summer. I still advise against coming if possible. If you haven't bought a ticket, don't come. Don't believe the job postings from those boring online labor agencies claiming high wages. They're not that high at all. Wages are decreasing. Moreover, many people who are tricked into coming to Guangdong each year are unemployed. No jobs for you. They just lure you in. Every year, especially in Guangdong, many students are stranded because of this, unable to find a hotel. Why? Because there are too many people, hotels are full, then they have to sleep under bridges, on the roadside, in parks, homeless, penniless, and it's all meaningless. When Li Daokui, the top economist with close ties to the Chinese Communist Party, states an unemployment rate of 10% that differs so drastically from the official figure of 5%, it almost confirms that China's economic crisis is far more severe than reported by official media. This also reveals a growing sense of panic among the elite. In China's financial industries, senior managers are desperately trying to escape China. In mainland social media chat groups, a netizen claimed that a senior executive of a state-owned enterprise, unable to resign normally, decided to deliberately create a drunk driving record. After drinking, he drove to a location where traffic police were conducting DUI checks and was subsequently caught. The next day, the company terminated his employment contract for DUI, and his passport was returned to him. The Post also claimed that several months later, when investigators tried to contact the executive, he was already in California, USA. The Post read, "For ordinary people, DUI is a restart of life. For some, DUI is like buying themselves a one-way ticket in advance." Why? Besides complete pessimism about the Chinese economy, this elite class knows one of the CCP's tactics. When the government is short of money, it turns to the wealthy, the pigs they fattened. Now it's time to slaughter them. On July 2nd, Xinhua News Agency, the official media outlet, reported that He Lifeng, a member of the political bureau of the CPC Central Committee and secretary of the Central Financial Work Committee, called for deepening the rectification of central inspection and audits and maintaining a high-pressure stance against corruption at a meeting on party building in the financial system. The official report did not disclose the number of financial institutions and managers involved in this round of investigations, nor did it disclose the verification of passports and overseas assets of departing personnel. However, rumors have already reached overseas Chinese communities. Kong Liang, pseudonym, an insider in the Chinese financial industry, disclosed to overseas Chinese media that the investigation had already involved bank deposits, overseas properties, family assets, and changes in funds before and after job departure of some personnel. Some managers of state-owned financial enterprises, finding internal audits becoming stricter, have begun looking for ways to prematurely terminate their management positions. Some are attempting to leave their posts by citing illness, disciplinary violations, or dismissal in order to get back their private passports, which are centrally held by their employers. The CPC has long implemented a centralized passport custody system for managers of some state-owned enterprises and financial institutions. As long as their labor and personnel relationships remain with their employers, these individuals find it difficult to get their documents and leave the country independently. Therefore, some choose to leave their employers by being dismissed, creating an escape route for themselves. Mr. Zhang, who works at China's Merchant Bank, also told reporters that the investigation department is screening managers in the financial system. They are currently conducting a thorough investigation of managers in banks, insurance companies, mutual fund management companies, securities companies, and stock exchanges, checking their income over the past 10 years. After news of the investigation spread, many people plan to resign and go abroad. If you resign voluntarily, you will definitely be suspected, so they are thinking of various ways. Some want to go overseas for a while and come back after the storm has passed. Faced with the increasingly severe mass unemployment disaster, the CCP regime has no solution. It relies on propaganda and the sponge of the informal gig economy. According to the official Chinese data, the gig economy now accounts for 44% of the total workforce, but it lacks pensions, medical insurance, and job security. For many Chinese people, they are unclear whether they belong to the employed or the unemployed. Today, I want to talk about unemployment. I want to ask, have you ever counted how many times you've been laid off? I came to Beijing in 2016 and have been laid off 6 times, especially between 2021 and 2024. Several times I was laid off before even passing my probation period. My longest period of unemployment was 10 months. The China New Employment Forms Research Center predicts that the number of people employed in the gig economy will increase from 280 million last year to 320 million this year. In the CCP's plan, China's gig economy is a reservoir of employment, but clearly this reservoir is drying up. The rest of this video features the stories of unemployed people of different ages in various Chinese cities. There are too few job opportunities in China, resulting in widespread unemployment, which has almost nothing to do with your own abilities.
北大毕业
You graduated from Peking University and you've been unemployed for 2 years without looking for a job? I've been looking since March or April this year. I didn't pass some interviews and I passed others, but the salaries were not acceptable. How much? They offered $240 a month, which is about 1,600 yuan. Then I asked how long it would take to become a full-time employee, but they didn't say anything, so I didn't dare to go. She said that during her master's studies in the UK, her tuition fees exceeded £20,000 per year, equivalent to about 200,000 yuan. After returning to China, she was unable to find a job and is now forced to stay at home, relying on her parents for support.
从银行裸辞后的现状是什么样？
What's it like after quitting a bank job? A video tells you. In 2010, I graduated with a degree in auditing and joined a state-owned bank, working there for 3 years. Dissatisfied with the status quo and unwilling to settle for mediocrity, I chose to resign. After entering the workforce, I worked in many jobs and industries, each with mediocre success. This continued until the pandemic began, when we both lost our jobs. After the pandemic, at 35, I suddenly found it extremely difficult to find work. Society is very unfriendly to middle-aged people over 35. You might not believe the current situation in Guangzhou. Some companies are unable to pay salaries. Even more shockingly, some companies were operating the day before, and by the evening, people in group chats were saying they were closing down. Now, it's not just many companies. Many shops on the street are also struggling to stay afloat. Many are for sale, but there's no one willing to take them over. Frankly speaking, many shop owners and entrepreneurs can't even afford the rent, let alone make a profit. In fact, very few shops are actually profitable. At the age of 30, I was told by a big company that my contract wouldn't be renewed. Now, I'm living a life that's both poor and carefree. Today is my 84th day of unemployment. I haven't set an alarm for work in a long time, and I haven't been able to afford breakfast outside. I no longer have to brave the morning rush hour subway, deal with complicated workplace relationships, or be driven to panic by performance targets. How much is this meat per pound? But without income, I haven't been able to afford to turn on the air conditioning at home during the day, haven't bought any full-price items, haven't had spare money to travel the world, and I don't have an elegant social circle any longer. That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, or share it with a friend. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.